Welcome to Illinois and Garden Zone 5. So we are at the end of August, first weekend in September, Labor Day weekend. So excited that you are here with me to see what the end of summer looks like in the garden. Not officially the end of summer, but you know, everything's moving now towards fall. So I want to show you how the cut flower garden turned out this year. It is my first year with the cut flower garden. I'll show you what I liked, what I didn't like, things I may grow again next year. Then I want to take you to the back garden and we'll do a walk through there. I'll show you what's in bloom right now at the end of August. I also have some things now that I've seen it all summer long that I think either this fall or early spring I will be moving around and rearranging to different areas in the garden. So I'll show you those. We have some new additions to our family. So I want to take you inside after we get done in the garden and show you those new additions, tell you the story behind that. We may even go up front and look at the front mailbox garden. It has exploded this summer. Every year I like to do new colors in the front garden and change it up by the mailbox. I've had lots of neighbors comment this year as I'm out watering and gardening up there, that they're really liking all that flower power. So I want to show you that. So we have a lot to get going to. It is early in the morning. You will see it's kind of a little bit hazy, foggy behind me. We are expecting rain here in the Midwest today and tomorrow, but really hot, hot temperatures. It has been the first part of the week we had up in the hundreds, which is unseasonably warm for us. We do get occasionally that way, but nothing like what you down in the South, if you're in the South, experience. So it's been really hot for us. But let's get going today and let me show you around the cut flower garden and give you some close-ups. We put in raised beds last fall and in this spring. I still don't have a center focal point yet. I know that some of you have asked about that. I just added a container that was in the back garden and moved it out here for now. So I'm still on the hunt for the perfect thing for this focal point in the middle. Okay, some of the things that I love in the cut flower garden that I will do next year is I do really like the marigolds in the little boxes at the front. Those were just bedding plants that I had bought earlier at the beginning of the season, like a little 4-pack. And I think they just give such a pop of color back here in the cut flower garden. Now, some of the other things that I really like that I'll be adding next year again is I do like the salvia. The salvia, I do use that a lot in cut flower arrangements. And I had showed you this Oxford blue. Now you can see later in the season, it doesn't look so hot, but I will put a picture up on the screen of when it was in its prime. And I used it in a flower arrangement, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. And it is a salvia, but as you can see, it's shaped differently than a normal salvia, which is like this. So I just like the difference there. And that I did grow from seed, and I bought the seed at Johnny's. But this is how it looks now. Some of it had really gotten brown and I'd cut it out. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking about growing that next year. Now on this side, we do have the marigolds and the pink geraniums I grew from seed that I purchased. Geraniums I would grow again from seed. They're really easy to do. A little cloche down there, which was not a cloche. So that was one of those DIYs. It's a wire bird cage, and I asked my husband, it has a metal bottom, and he cut the bottom out of it, made a circle for me, and then I had there was a little plant in there, and so that makes a nice cloche cover, and then it's very cute and decorative out in the garden too, and I only paid a few bucks for that when I was out thrifting. So now these are bedding plants also, and these are those zinnias, more of the compact variety, very pretty. And the arrangement that I have over on the table today, I did pick everything out here and make an arrangement. And so I used a lot of these, then they did work well because they are on a taller stem. Those were bedding plants. I did not grow those from seed. Now over here we have some of the same repeats, but we also have some penstemon, that pink tall. I did grow that from seed, and that is a perennial, so it should come back next year, and there are more in there, so we'll see. and the carnation and the lavender I grew from seed, and just kind of did like little rows to see how they would do. Since everything was new, I wasn't sure how it would turn out. So here we have some more herbs, and then we have a coneflower in this real pretty white. And I did get this from Johnny's Seed and grow it from seed. And it was a mixed packet that had different colors in it. And I do like that. That's pretty. And I did put that in the flower arrangement today. The snapdragons I will grow again. I did those from seed. I got the seed from Johnny's and really do like the snapdragons. I do add those into a lot of arrangements. And then the vinca, the hot pink vinca, I think just makes pretty bedding plants. I've not cut them to put them in arrangements. I could if I wanted to, but they're pretty short. So then when we go back here, now you may have seen that I had more sunflowers, but I had something that got into the garden last week and ate a bunch of the sunflowers. So I ended up having to get rid of what was left, and I got one big one. It ate all the stuff down on all the leaves, all the stalks, all the shoots. But that's okay because behind it, I planted the little baby miniature like quarter-sized pumpkins, the real tiny ornamental ones, and they are just going strong. Okay, so I had shared with you this week in the community post that I have a beautiful borrowed view way back behind the garden bench. Do you see the gorgeous burning bush that's like a burning bush tree? It's massive. So that's actually my neighbor's tree, but it makes such a nice backdrop to the garden and just that early sign that fall is coming. So I have some work here I want to do this fall. I'm thinking I'm going to pull out this rose here, which is a David Austin, the Scepter d'Isle. I'm going to pull that out, and I think I'm going to take it out to the cut flower garden this fall and plant it in the background in the cut flower garden, because as you can see, it's really throwing some shoots out. And I think I would like to move one of the more compact roses up here to that spot instead. I'm debating, I'm back and forth about actually moving the hydrangeas in the back, because those hydrangeas originally, when I planted them last year, they will get 6 to 8 foot tall. And all of this fencing now we did this year, and the way we had it before, I had planned on using them as a tall hedge for the back garden. But now that we've expanded the back garden, I'm not sure that I want that tall hedge there. So I may move those, and if I move them, I'm thinking about moving them out against the fence out there and having them be the backdrop in front of the fence. So still debating. What do you think? Weigh in below. Let me know what you think. And if I did take those out, then I would put a shorter hydrangea back there that maybe got 3 to 5 foot instead and have that as a nice backdrop. Now the window boxes are doing really well for being this late in the season and being hand watered. But you can see that they're starting to, when it gets real hot like this, they put fewer blooms on. I think my lesson learned on this year on the supertunias though is last year I put less supertunias and added in other things, and this year I just did more supertunias. And I'm thinking because they're in the window boxes, maybe I need to mix it in more. Different things. I think having as many supertunias in the window boxes, it was hard for them to get enough food and water because they're so vigorous and they have such huge roots on them. But we'll see. So I may change up the window boxes next year and do something different. The sitting pretty roses are still doing really well. Lots of blooms. I love these roses, you guys. I do have 3 of them. The only thing on the sitting pretty is they are grand florals, so they are older. And because they're older, they're not as disease resistant as some of the new breeds out. So I do have issues with powdery mildew with them, but they are so beautiful and they smell so good. And then we've got the little Firelight Tidbit hydrangea back there that's that perfect little size if you need a place for a small one or if you want to put it in a container. That's just a really nice compact size hydrangea. Knockout roses are knockout roses. They're still doing good, and they'll go into fall looking really pretty. The urns are getting tired. The one, I was gone one day, didn't get it watered, and it just croaked. So I ended up pulling out all the dead. We have a geranium still in there, but I'm about ready to take those out anyway and get them planted up for fall. Now this one is still doing really good, so they both look like this. This one gets more shade because it has the Jane Magnolia, so it's more protected, where the other one is more, there is no protection. So it gets more full sun, and it just got cooked that day. And that is the bad, I like these urns. I picked these urns up at Lowe's, and they do still carry them. There's a link down in the description if you're interested. I do like them, but they are not very deep. So if you decide to get these urns, keep in mind that you're going to be watering quite a bit just because they are not very deep. Now over here, look what has started to bloom. The sweet autumn clematis on the fence, on the trellis, and then the purple clematis, which usually blooms in June, is a repeat. So it did repeat and just started blooming again. And the funny thing is, it's doing so well, it has poked through the fence. So on the outside of the fence, you'll see purple flowers and white flowers too. Okay, so I got to show you this when I was cleaning up last night. I have a little rose that has thrown out a shoot and is now coming through the Jane Magnolia. Do you see that back there? So it's getting really good. I need to go back and tie it up to the trellis and have it climb on the fence instead. But it, when I seen it, I'm like, well, it looks all right. I'll leave it there. This area here, I would like to do some changing for next year. I put a lot of columbine in, which is gorgeous in the springtime, but it is just springtime. So then I just have a lot of green right now. What I'm thinking is I would like to take some of this out, and I really like the Double Impatient from Proven Winners in that boldly pink color. The Rocco Poco Pink, I think is what it's called. And it's an annual, but look how well that did as an annual. And there's two in the concrete pot with the polka dotted plant, and then there's one in the ground. Now I had tried putting another one in the ground up here closer in the front, and I had something in the springtime, if you recall from the beginning, like maybe a raccoon dig it up. Well, but they didn't bother this one in the back. So I'm thinking next season I would like to add some more of these in the ground because they give so much color. And if I keep them under the Jane Magnolia, I think they'll do really fine because it's that dappled shade. And I think that would just give it more color here instead of having just all the green. So that's going to be something I want to change up next year. Okay, so you've seen the cut flower garden, you've seen the back garden, some of my projects that I'm gonna have coming up, moving things around, changing things up. Now let's head up to the front garden, and I'm gonna give you a real quick view of the mailbox garden, and then we're gonna head inside and meet the new additions to the family. Okay, the mailbox garden, guys, look how much color we have. It has just exploded in color. I really like the tall grass there on the end. That'll be really pretty for fall. That is a Proven Winners grass. It's an annual, but I'm liking the burgundies and the greens in that. So as people are walking by and driving by, they see lots of plants and lots of color. So happy with how this turned out this year. We're inside now. Let me introduce you to the two new family members that we have. Two being a surprise. We had planned on getting one kitty, but we ended up with two. So I have footage to show you from last night. John had created an obstacle course for the kittens They're about 3 months old now, and we adopted them from our local humane society. Now, we had known that we were going to adopt one kitten. We had picked out a calico that we wanted to adopt. Well, she also had 4 brothers. And John teasingly told me we could adopt all 5. And I said, I think not. No, 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 no. But we did do 2. So we have her brother. And I just thought it would be a good idea because him and I both work outside the home all day long. And so to keep her company while we're gone, that would really be helpful. And it has worked out wonderfully. They play together. They sleep next to each other. They keep each other company. It has been like having toddlers all over again, that all of you that have had a kitten or a puppy know what I'm talking about. We've had to baby kitten proof the house and put a lot of things away, move a lot of plants out of their reach, put cords out of their reach, all the things that you would do if you had a toddler, I have had to do pretty much with the kittens. So it's been an adventure for us these last few weeks, getting used to doing that again, but it's been a lot of fun too. So let me show you the footage from last night. Have a great week, and I will see you in the next video, guys.